Hi everyone, welcome to Selangor Human Resource Development Center, or SHRDC in short. What you guys are about to see next are a series of webinar sessions on various topics that we at SHRDC previously organized. We hope you will be able to enjoy and learn a couple of things from this webinar session.
All right, I think the numbers are coming in quickly now that it's past 10:30. So I see everyone is very upbeat and jolly this morning. Everyone is greeting each other. So thank you very much for the warm welcome to all. All right, so once again, I think we can start now. It's 10:30 or 10:33 already. All right, so once again, welcome everyone. Attendees there, I'm just going to call a few names here. Muhammad Mahathir, Nisa, Nordin, Rosmaria, Rosiana, Ryan, and so many others. Sandra. All right, thank you very much for dialing in, everyone. All right, I do hope you guys have already had your breakfast, or if you haven't, do feel free to grab a cup of coffee. All right, and just let them sit on the side of the table so you can just take a sip anytime throughout the session today. All right, so once again, my name is Maresa. I am from SHRDC, or Selangor Human Resource Development Center, and we are the Training and Development Center. All right, so I will be the moderator for today. So do call me Maresa, and our speaker, Maresa Ng, you guys can address her as coach, and she's very much comfortable being called so. All right, so we'll just begin today's session. So just before we start, this is just a basic housekeeping rules for everyone to adhere. All right, so the duration is expected to last for around an hour, or probably could be more or less 1 hour. Could be slightly terbabas sikit. I hope you guys don't mind. All right, so for any questions throughout the entire session today, do type them into the chat box, okay? And our speaker will address them towards the end of the session, or anytime that she sees your questions are coming in, he will just right away address them. All right, so please ensure your mic is muted. All right, so we recommend a side-by-side viewing. Okay, so for optimal viewing for you guys. Okay, so just a heads up, this session is recorded, and we will be taking a few screenshots at any time during the webinar. Okay, guys. All right, so moving on, I will now introduce our speaker of the day. Okay, our speaker for today is Maresa Ng, and she is the CEO and founder of the Spark Group Asia. So as you guys can see here, she is a very well-known and advocate for leaders, entrepreneurs, and business owners who are in business and want to have a great life. All right, so coach here, she always using the hashtag great business, great life. Okay, so she actually has a background in banking, I believe, previously, and then she just naturally ventured into public speaking, I guess, and she seems to be very good at it, and this is what she's been doing in her whole life. I mean, half of her life, I believe. Okay, so this is just a very brief introduction or description about her, because she actually, when I run through her LinkedIn, she has a very long list of the things that she has done, she has achieved. There's so much more to it, actually. But I believe she will introduce herself better than I do. All right, so I will just turn this session over to Maresa with each coach. All right, you can take the session over, Maresa.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Maresa. Very happy to be here. My name is Maresa. So everybody, if you don't want to be confused, you can call me Coach. But thank you very much, Maresa, for bringing us on and starting us off on a high. Everybody, if you can hear me loud and clear, I just want to make sure that you're well connected. If you can hear me, say yeah, say hello, say yo, say good morning, so that I know that you're out there and ready to rock and roll. If you're ready to rock and roll, let us know. Sandra, nice to have you here. Ryan, Eric, yeah, Rose Maria, nice. Mahatzir, I'm seeing you again. I think you've joined our series quite a bit. Safinas, nice to have you. And Jolene, nice. Nisa, nice. All right, we got amazing people in the house. Wilson and Juliet, nice to have you. All right, so today we have a really amazing topic that I really want to, and Shafiq, thank you. Good morning to you too. Ladies and gentlemen, today's topic is a really important one, because as a part of the Resilience Leadership series, we're talking today about change. And we're not just talking about change, we're talking about sustainable change, all right? So I hope you guys have your notepads ready, whether you run teams, whether you work for yourself, or you're an entrepreneur, you're a CEO of a team, yeah? Whether you have 2 people in your team or 200. Today, I'm going to be talking about how people create change. And so this is a very, very powerful conversation, because in the new normal, enough of us, we've heard so much about the new normal, but many of us are either accepting the new normal, or some of us are actually waiting for it to go back to normal. How many of you have had conversations like that? Tak apalah, kita tunggu. We are waiting. Yeah. So this conversation of change is very, very important. So let me just dive right in. And before I go into that, I really love helping people to understand where we're from. Ladies and gentlemen, we're from the Spark Group Asia. You can join us on LinkedIn, follow our pages, and we share tons of amazing tips and strategies. But also please add me, Maresa Ng, on LinkedIn. But I want to say this. A lot of our work in the last 1.5 years have been very critical. We've worked with organizations from multinational companies, corporate, all the way to small and medium-sized entrepreneurs, where we talk about mental health. We talk about the virtual culture, how many organizations, small all the way to large, have had to deal with remote working. How many of you at the beginning of, kerja dari rumah, work from home, yay. How many of you had that? And how many of us now like, oh my gosh, I can't take it anymore. I want to go see people. How many of you are in that place? So many people that I talk to, at the beginning, they say, virtual, bagus, remote. And now many people, most people in the polls that we do, they say hybrid. Why? Because that is the kind of change that is required for us to be resilient. And we're going to talk about that. So a few other companies that you see here, you'll see the first company called AccuMatch. Myself, I'm the master coach and certified behavior intelligence coach, where we use this Canadian tool. It's a really tight assessment, and I'll share it with you later, where you get to read your behavior intelligence, okay? We also are accredited with this company called Neurosemantics and MetaCoach. Neurosemantics, for those of you who are not aware, again, just type it into your Google. Neurosemantics is a research institute that raises human potential. A lot of what it talks about, Dr. Michael Hall, that is based in Texas, a lot of what it talks about is teaching us to be resilient during difficult times. And that's a skill. We are being tested for that, all right? And the last one here is Action Coach, where we use a lot of business tools, reports, systems, templates that help growing businesses to be easier. So that's who we are at the Spark Group Asia. This is a little bit about me. I think Maresa shared a little bit, a sneak peek of who I am. I actually came from an investment banking, corporate banking background, and I decided that, I was going to run my own businesses. So I refinanced my house. I invested all my savings into bringing in an American franchise called Action Coach into Malaysia. And soon after was Neurosemantics, MetaCoach. But all in all, it was all about creating betterment, creating betterment to coaching people step by step to create better results in their lives and businesses. So this is a little bit of who I am. For those of you who want to get to know me, by all means, I've got 2 books. If you want to read my books, please reach out to my office. I'd send you a signed copy if you want. If you go to MPH, then lain cerita lah, cannot sign for you. But if you go to my office, Spark Group Asia, just Google us. You will also be able to pick up a book from any one of us and check us out. All right. And again, I always share this with people every time I run these webinars and seminars, and especially with SHRDC, many people want to hear more. They want to learn more, bite size, during lunchtime, at night, you know, when they have a lot of thoughts going through their head. Pick up one of our videos on YouTube, again, all FOC, where it will spur the way you think. And that's very, very important during this time, is to have new ways of thinking that helps you to be outside the box instead of the box. Does that make sense? So if I can jump right in, all this is at your disposal by our teams at the Spark Group Asia. Okay, so are you guys ready to rock and roll? Are you guys ready to rock and roll? Say yeah. If you are, I got a question for you. Okay, got a question for you. How many of you think change is easy? Easy or hard? Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Nisa. Is change easy or hard? What do you think? Kalau easy, tak easy. Kalau hard, time hard. It's okay. It's all right. Nini, sorry. All right, depends. Eric, hard. All right, super hard. Wilson, all right. Okay, Safina's hot. All right. Yi Hong Pyong, change is permanent. All right, Mahatze, hard. Rosemaria, hard. Change is hard. Sandra, Shafi, easy. All right, I got you. All right, Jaya Vatani. Jaya, I think I've seen you for many of our series. Well done. Agilent, it's about being agile. Okay, sounds easy but hard doing. Thank you, Tan. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, you guys are awesome. Now, this is the thing. Today, I'm going to be talking about the process of change, all right? And a lot of people think that it is very complex. Dia susah, as you have seen here, hard. Okay, so I've got news for you, and this is the first thing I want you to write down, okay? Change is easy, okay? Change is easy. Kalau besok, I want to change something. So for example, I want to get some exercise. I change tomorrow, easy, right? I change for the next 7 days, easy. I want to be a vegetarian, change for 30 days, easy ma, betul tak? Yang susahnya, where it becomes challenging, is what we call sustainable change. That means if I have to do that for 365 days, if I have to do that for the next 5 years, what does it take? This is what we're going to be talking about today. All right, does that make sense? Okay, so guys, please write lots of notes. This whole session, I'm going to try and finish at 11:30 today, but as Maresa says, sometimes the babas, because got so many questions. And also keep your question and answers to the end. But if you have anything you want to clarify with me, please type it into the chat box. I read it immediately. Okay, so I will help you to identify more clarity. All right, so let's jump right in. So when we talk about change, okay, change is easy. Sustainable change is not so easy. So what does it take? The first thing that we have to recognize is the way people react to change. First thing, and very important, how many of you remember the beginning of our pandemic? Ingat tak? Did you remember that? Did you remember how many people were reacting? Oh my gosh, what do I do? Oh my, I'm so scared. And then I lock myself up. I do all kinds of stuff. So much so that there were a lot of employers that were panicking. They were worried. So the first thing you need to learn about change is the reaction to change. And I want to share this with you. How many of you this has happened before? Bukan serious. Dia bukan serious, but we call that American term fender bender. If that's ever happened to you before, sometimes you know you either bump kat orang or orang bump kat you. Correct or not? Has it ever happened to you? I'm sure it's happened to me both ways. All right. Now, if I can, in this very simple situation, there are two types of people. All right. The first type will be the one alamak crap, and then their heart starts racing, they palpitate, and then they start panicking, all right? and then they'll drive to the side of the road, and then they'll swing the car door open. The first thing is, oh my gosh, they look at their car, and then they'll look at the person, and they'll like, oh my gosh, they start getting worried. Now, the first person versus the second person. The second person drive the car to the side of the road and stay calm, because the natural state is to panic. The natural state is something has happened to you, depending on how serious it is. And in that split second of that happening, that person, the number 2, is going to choose to stay calm, keep calm. Let's go and evaluate. Okay, let's go and evaluate what happened to the other car. What has happened? Go and look at my car. All right, let's evaluate, but stay calm. Now, what is the difference between dua jenis orang ini? Yeah? All right, very important is the next thing that I'm going to share with you, which is what we call intentionality or attentionality. Sorry, I'm not playing with words, but they happen to sound the same. Very good, Sandra. One reacts and the other responds. Bagus, Sandra. Very, very good. So if I can, thank you. Keep it coming, guys. Love it. The difference between people that handle challenges is either they are intentional or attentional. And the key difference with people that are attentional is when they're attentional, they react to the environment. They react, oh my gosh, what's next? Oh my God, react, react, react. Versus, all right, response is to be. And I love what Sandra said here. Intentionality is to choose your response. Does that make sense? And why intentionality is that when you choose your response, you choose it based on intention. So if I come back to the fender bender, crack or crack, right? If you come back to the fender bender, I have to choose my intentionality. Okay, I got a meeting at 10 o'clock. I need to sort this out, but I need to be calm so that I can continue doing what I need to do. But my intention is, and we choose our reaction or our proaction based on intentionality. Thank you so much. Thank you. 6 seconds of Goldman. Very good. So if I can, the first thing to look at change is whether you are reacting or you are choosing. And that is a very, very big difference for people that are successful and resilient versus people that are reacting to every bit of the environment, whether it is the social media. And some news is so bad. Every day, people are sharing 19 to 20,000 of infections. And immediately we become, we don't realize it, but we need to be able to call on that. So this is very, very important, because when we choose intentionality, then we can get to the next phase of change, which I'm going to share with you. Now, I want to share this with you because if you take a look at all these very nice, cute, colorful photos here, what you see here are business owners, SMEs, leaders, and staffs of those companies that have taken to digitalizing their marketing. All this while, how many of you know, I don't even need to digital, pergi buat Facebook Live, tak payah pergi buat Instagram, tak payah buat webinar, tak payah, walk in, traffic is good enough for me to survive. But when that is removed, that possibility, that revenue stream, and that is removed, oh my gosh, what do I do now? And if I may, I want to share some really powerful, I want to share this with you because it took a lot. How many of you know that it's so hard to do Facebook because you have to put your face on media? It's not as easy as it looks if you have not done it at all in the past. And if I may, some of these companies have gone into live stream. They've gone into learning how to interview other people and to build brands by leveraging on other businesses, other key influential leaders. They have leveraged and built their brand so much so. And I want to share this with you because a lot of people still hold back. And if I can, This lady, I kid you not, all right? This lady, her name is Louise, and she runs one of the mid-sized retail companies. So she does organic products, all right? So she's got partnerships with Watson as a major pharmacy chain. Recently, because of her live stream efforts, she has received export requests from Hong Kong and from Jakarta. Now, this would have never happened if she just stayed with her 5 retail outlets in the Klang Valley. And some of you know she's at Starling, she's at Velocity Mall. So you have seen her brand around before, this green color brand. Now, if I may, she got totally panicked. She just, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. Now nobody is walking in. I've got full staffing. What do I do with them? And my e-commerce was only, what, on the way, by the way, 5-10%. This is what she did in year 2020 alone. We all got pandemic in the early part of 2020. And she said, Coach, I have to shift, I have to pivot, and I got to do more for e-commerce, so much so, ladies and gentlemen, she overcome all that, and her e-commerce revenue went from financial year 2019. Many people in the pandemic lost money, but she made money. She made money in the pandemic year, and this year her e-commerce is poised to overtake all the retail revenue that she's ever made in the years of running her business, all in all, by being so invested in marketing and putting her face. She is on live streams every single week. Now, how does this happen? You are thinking, yeah la, easy, yeah la, yeah, she can do, yeah, how I can. Now, wait, hang on a minute. You see, those are the inner voices that we have to be aware of. But how we create change is very important. And so, take a look at what you see on my screen. How many of you have seen this chart before? If you have, say yeah. If you haven't, please write it down, okay? Please write it down. This will be one of the most important. Thank you, Jaya. Jaya raised a hand. Okay, very good. I'm seeing you guys, all right? Very good. Now, if I can, this one diagram can change your life in so many ways. This is what Louise went through. Because many of us, when we feel safe and in control, kita kat dalam comfort zone. We are in what we call a comfort zone. Now, when we want to create change, oh my gosh, I got to do my Facebook Live. I got to put my face every week. I've got to digitalize my company. I've got to use software. Now I have to pack all my information into a cloud. I've got to digitalize. Oh my gosh, now I got to talk to my team through Zoom. Bunch of changes, right? Not just Facebook Living, but bunch of changes that is calling for us to be resilient. All that is inside comfort zone. And in the comfort zone, we feel safe because we have the skills. We have the talent to implement. We know what creates results. Does that make sense? Now, when the environment changes and what I do on my skills cannot get me results anymore, I got to change, right? And when I got to change, I open up the door of my house. I see what? I see the fear zone. And the fear zone is very important to recognize this because the fear zone is where you lack confidence, you find excuses, you're in denial, you start blaming people. All the bad stuff to change comes from the fear zone. And if you break past that, you go into learning zone. When you go into learning zone, you break past the fear. How do you break past the fear? Is to do it enough. Do it until you get better. Tak perfect pun buat dulu. And then you go into the learning zone. Oh, I can do this. Wow. Oh, that's not bad. Oh, I think next time I'm going to try this. I think you are acquiring new skills. And when you break past learning zone, you go into the growth zone. When you go into the growth zone, gosh, you start creating meanings and significance to the things that you do. You start setting new goals. You start being accountable. You start, oh my gosh, I can do this. Now, I'm even reaching out to people that are international that have never known about me. I can export. Like, I used to be a retailer. Now I can export. Like, oh my gosh, if you were to understand, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm also part of Samantha, where I'm the community engagement and development. And one of the key things, this is our surveys that are done. You want the survey, just reach out to me. Malaysian companies that are still surviving in this pandemic and thriving are exporters. The ones yang, they are only doing the business here. So if we want to survive, we have to export. Tapi takut lah, I don't know anything about export. And now you see, this is the opportunities that start coming. I kid you not. So this is the magic. And I want you to write this down. Many people think that it is about coming out of your comfort zone. How many of you know that? How many of you think that? It's about coming out of the comfort zone. Ladies and gentlemen, when we come out of our comfort zone, kita tak selesa. It feels weird. It feels hard. Does it make sense? I want you to change that thinking to not come out of your comfort zone. Change that thinking to expand your comfort zone. Expanding your comfort zone means, imagine now. Imagine Louise, imagine all these entrepreneurs that are making it rain during the pandemic. Where is their comfort zone? Their comfort zone is now here. Comfort zone. So they have expanded what they feel comfortable doing. They did not come out of the comfort zone. At the beginning it was, but they expanded their comfort zone, and now they have a new comfort zone. So many people don't realize that, is that when you look at that zone, it's about making it bigger. Because when my comfort zone become bigger, ladies and gentlemen, when my comfort zone become bigger, banyak benda yang I tahu buat. There are more things that I know how to do. There are more skills and talent. There are more opportunities that I am realizing. And so my comfort zone becomes bigger. If you take a look at this, the new comfort zone is the bigger circle. Is that making sense, gang? How many of you understand this? Say, yeah. Oh my gosh, it's about breaking past this. If you understand that about yourself, thank you so much. We're having all the hands raised. Rosemaria, yes. Eric, yes. Well done, Shafiq, yes. Oh, this is very, very important. Thank you, Jolene. If you understand this, this is what is going to help you to break through. Okay, very, very important. Thank you so much, Muniz. Thank you so much. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Thank you. All those things that you think are holding you back right outside the door, when you buka rumah, buka pintu, fear zone, you see black. But actually, we need to break past it. Very, very crucial. Love it, gang. Love it. Because this is important as well. This is the second thing I want to share with you about change. And now I want to share with you the third thing. And at the end, I'm going to give you a sequence of steps. You do those steps at the end. I call it the axis of change. When you use those steps, ladies and gentlemen, okay, you will be able to implement change that stays. Okay, so bear with me. I'm leading you up to that. And the third thing that I need you to know about change, and this is not rocket science, and that we have done this for our clients throughout and many organizations. The next thing that I want to talk to you about change is this, gentleman. How many of you have come across this brand before? Brand beanbag. Oh my gosh. And they make one of the best beanbags in, not just in Malaysia, but they make one of the best beanbags in the region. Hardcore. If you've come across this DOOF, you've come across this brand APOM, a piece of Malaysia, Apom. Okay. The reason why I want to share this man's story with you, his name is Kelvin. Okay, short form Kel. Okay, Kel, K-E-L. You can go and look up their brands, and they're amazing. But very, very long ago, when I spoke to Kelvin, he was the owner of this company called Lucid Ideas. Have you seen this before? Lucid Ideas Creative. Sorry, very kecil here. Lucid Ideas is an advertising agency, a creative agency, right? And how many of you know it started to get really, really tough for creative and advertising agencies, especially recently? They got very, very years ago. As you can see, all the way back in 07, 08, he came and asked me, he said, Coach, how can I continue? Because when I met him, he's already been in the business for 6-7 years. Every time it was always 11, 12 o'clock, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. He and his team are burning the midnight oil, delivering on clients' unreasonable timeline. And he says, we work so hard to build the brands of others. And his brands were not bad. They're not small brands. They are you've revive your bottled drink, your kitchen. Yeah, kitchen. If you've heard of that Baju brand, it's a fashion boutique. These are the brands that he's building for, and he says, "Oh my gosh, we keep building people's brands, but I'm getting tired. I'm getting exhausted." And something clicked. It clicked, and he says, "Coach, I want to build our brands." Everything then was history. Lucid Ideas is still around. It's autopilot because we have built the systems and put all that in place. So Cal lets it run. His creative directors run it. But now he is very active building Doof and a piece of Malaysia. But the click was, I need to build our own brands. Instead of servicing clients, I built our brand. And he has a very successful retail and e-commerce and export model where he exports Doof to many parts of the region. Now, what is that? And this is the third part of change that you need to know. Okay, are you guys ready? Are you guys ready for the third part of change? How did he do it? This third part of change, okay, is this. Where we realize, ladies and gentlemen, where we realize this, okay? We need to realize that if we are going to create change, yeah? If we're going to create change, it is never, and I just want to draw this out here, okay? It is never just what you do. Guys, can you see this as the identity iceberg? Have you seen the iceberg? So if you take a look at this nice little cartoon, this iceberg at the top, when a cruise liner comes by and they see a block of ice, they see it as very, very big. Yeah, remind you of Titanic. The Titanic very kecil only down here, very kecil. The iceberg looks so big. But you know what's even bigger? It's what we cannot see. Bawah air. Thank you so much, Munisa. Under the waterline will lie the bigger part of this iceberg that we cannot see. And that is the part that influences us more than we can even understand. This is very, very important. So when you look at Kelvin and how he ran his businesses, right? He was doing all the client servicing, service, and there was a lot of action, a lot of doing. And then one day he realized, dang, I don't want to be doing this for the next 10 years, 20 years. I'm just going, shoot, I want to build my brand. And his values shifted, his beliefs shifted. Yes, never undermine the power on inner strength. Betul, because underwater is what drives our actions. Okay, I'll give you another example. Not example, real story, true story. A very, very, a very amazing story. A close friend. Okay. She and her husband has been diabetic for the longest time. Okay, so they are diabetic sampai have to inject insulin. Okay, so their lives are already dependent on insulin. Kid you not. They were overweight, all right, and also smokers. Okay, so their life was already, and they were so unhealthy. But did they know they needed to exercise and do something about their health? Yes, tahu. Tahu is one thing. Buat is cerita lain. So they knew what they needed to do, and they did it to a certain extent. Exercise once in a week, once in 2 weeks, you know, try and stop, use the patch, whatever. So they tried all that. But something happened. The wife, her father was diabetic, had a liver transplant, so liver failure, and passed away. And that rocked her world. And immediately, ladies and gentlemen, immediately she stopped smoking. She and her husband stopped smoking, went on a keto diet. For some people, it works. Lost weight, exercise, do yoga. The husband is now a cyclist, okay? Amazing transformation overnight. Now, what happened? This happened. Does that make sense? Your values, and suddenly what is important because my father passed away because of this. So what happened to my values? And it drove a different sense of actions. And when you look at change, it is never just external change. Jangan tukar sahaja apa yang kita buat. We're not just changing our tactical, our actions, our doing. We also need to be aware of the being. Does that make sense? That's right. Having a very strong why to creating the change. And the why is all this. And if I can, that why, what you believe, what you hold true, what are your values, what are important, who you are, your identity, all that derives and drives what you can have. Be, do, have. Does that make sense? So this is a very, very important part. Very, very important part of change. All right. Very, very good. How many of you are enjoying it so far? You're enjoying the 3 parts of change. How many of you are enjoying it? Say yeah. Oh, Farida, Simon Sinek, yes. Munis, Yi Hong Pyong, yes. Rosemaria, Nor Aziz, nice to see you here. Eric, very good. Wilson, yeah. Mahathir, very good. Love it. This is so powerful. Thank you so much for the participants that are raising their hand. I love it. No one will explain change in such a simple manner. And if I can, thank you, Anne. Thank you so much, Sandra. Change is simple, but it is not easy. The not easy part is kita kena ada discipline. Yeah, does that make sense? But when it comes to change, the formula is actually not difficult. Does that make sense? Okay. Now I'm going to share with you the last part. Are you guys ready? The last part is mind-blowing. How much time do I have? Okay. And if you guys have questions, Q&A, please type it in, and then we will read it out. Maresa and myself will read it out later. Okay, so let's get into the last part. Right. The last part is called the axis of change. So I put right in the middle. So it's like a wheel, You know, you've got the leader, you've got the center. The center is you, lah. All right. Or whether you are the leader, you are the mother, the father, the parent, the whatever, yeah? In the middle, all the change begins with Y-O-U. So draw this 4 axes. 4 parts of this wheel is going to help you to sustain change, all right? And I will tell you where most people fall flat, okay? All right, I'll tell you where people usually fall flat, and that's where they fail. They dump the change. I don't want to do anymore, blah, 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 blah. I will tell you where, okay? So the first axis that you need is the motivation. The motivation is very important because motivation is emotion. So you have to have energy, the emotion. Whether you show it is another thing, but you need to have the energy to drive the change. Whether you are going toward something, your motivation is to move toward the goal, or your motivation is to move away from a pain. Both of these are equally strong. But you need to know, and this is something that I will share with you later, we have a very powerful AccuMatch mental map. And you will have an opportunity later to do one just for yourself. You will know your own motivation is more about moving toward opportunities or moving away from pain. When you know this, you know how to drive yourself. Now, when you know this about your employees, you imagine if you can motivate them, can you coach them, can you lead them? Motivation. The next axis is called decision. Decision here is between active and reflective. Decision means let's do it. Let's get this done. Okay, so it's the yes or no. Does that make sense? Okay, so the decision axis is active and reflective. So this is very important because for many of us as leaders, sometimes kita terlalu aktif. Kita buat sebelum berfikir, before we reflect. That's why reflect. Can you see that? Active, reflect. So active are the doers. Do. All right, let's go. And then we active more than reflective. Other people are too reflective. Fikir sampai paralyzed. How many of you know that? How many of you know friends like that? How many of you can see that in yourself? And sometimes you think too much. Now, In the decision axis, it is about a balance between active and reflective. And when you make big decisions, okay, sometimes it's important to test first. And that's how you balance that out. Once you make a decision, you go into creation. So, okay, I made a decision, all right? I want to set up 2 more companies to build my own brand. My creation, my implementation, my execution, this one all same words, huh? It's between internal and external. Remember the iceberg study? I need to build not just my external actions, set up company, go and build my own brand. I need to internalize that now I am the brand owner. I am the owner for my own brand, not building other people's brand. I am my own brand owner. Example, you are building the internal and external strategies to create what you need. And this is very important because there are a lot of CEOs, entrepreneurs. I'll give you an example. How many of you have met CEOs and entrepreneurs, business owners, when they run the company, 4-5 orang, boleh. Tapi they got funding and then they grow into a company of 50 people, tiba-tiba they cannot manage. Why? Because they are getting in the way. Dia biasa buat kerja sendiri. Bila ada 50 orang, they have to delegate. Those are not external strategies, those are internal strategies. That's a very simple example so you can understand. And the last one, the last axis is integration. Integration is about keeping the change. You have to keep the change, all right? So when you keep the change, you are reinforcing the change. Let me get into it, I'll share with you. So there is a sequence. There is a sequence for sustainable change. Coach, mana satu I buat dulu? Motivation ke, integration ke, creation ke? Here you go, okay? Always begin with motivation. Because motivation is where we derive energy for said change. When we have enough energy, then we go into decision. When there is decision, active, reflective is where we gain clarity. And remember this, we do not gain clarity by standing still. You cannot analyze your decision until you think it's perfect. Because the minute you do it, mistake. So decision is active and reflective. You are gaining clarity by taking baby steps forward. Thank you so much, Muniz. What drives your motivation, your why? When you have your decision, you go into creation, internal and external. When you go into creation, you are willing to take accountability for the results. And when you are in creation, then you go into what we call integration. When you get into integration, in reinforcing the change, keeping the change, I like the change. That's where your confidence grows, leaps and bounds, and we start being very creative. Does that make sense? Now, this is very powerful. Okay, so I've shared all this with you. I just want you guys to write it down. Knowing what inspires you and your employees. Notice, ladies and gentlemen, all of you here, this is priceless stuff, okay? I can take a whole day to teach you this, and that's something that I'm going to share at the end. But for now, I'm going to be very high level so that I don't overwhelm you. This is the process of change that we do for an individual, seorang. So sometimes they come to us and say they want one-to-one coaching. We take them through. Now, my coaching is not about how to lose weight and how to become happy. No, the coaching is about how to become a better leader. We deal with people that are very technical. They are specialists. They are quite execute, buat kerja sendiri. Tiba-tiba they got graduated into being a people manager. That was our last webinar. For those of you who were here in our last webinar. Wow, many people struggle. So the example that I gave is people that are programmer, and then dia pergi sampai got increment and promotion and became a CTO, but the mindset didn't shift. So we have to take him or her through this process to become a successful people manager. Thank you, Sandra. Baby steps to gain clarity. We can never gain clarity standing still, okay? But we also want to avoid rash, radical decisions. Like, oh my gosh, I'm going to start my business, quit my job, throw, and then pergi. Ayo, that one also please avoid. That's why baby steps. Very good. Thank you, Muniz. Fantastic. And not only do we do this on one-to-one, we also do this for companies. Companies that come to us and say, we want to create change, but we don't know where to start. We don't know the phases. It's also MDCI, motivation, decision, creation, and integration. Does that make sense? So once you go into decision, you go into creation, and you go into integration. Keeping the change is acknowledging what is good about the change. So let's just say I start exercise. I start feeling good, all right? But today rain and my body pain because I did some workout. And then, okay lah, I think this week I will rest. Or no, identify how good you feel about the exercise and focus on the good. That is integration. That is reinforcement, because our brain is designed to find out what is wrong. It is designed to protect. So when we need to integrate a change, it is protecting us from the new change. So it will automatically cari benda yang tak bagus, tak sedap. And so in my brain, if I know that, I need to look for what's good and program my brain so that I keep doing it. So guys, draw a circle. Habis ini, next cycle, next. It doesn't end. It's a cycle. So this particular lovely man. All right, thank you. Excellent, Muniswari. Very good. The MDCI process. This lovely company. Oh my gosh, this company is doing is in one of the industries that I am so passionate about. He's in the industry of biodegradable products, and he has the highest passion. Okay, CM Eco, Google them. All right, it's a very niche industry, but he has a big heart for the circular economy. So whether we should be using paper, cardboard boxes to eat food, so he's trying to work with food delivery systems to use biodegradable products. Don't use so much polystyrene because that kills the ocean, it kills the planet. Very, very particular about even composting your own fertilizer, teaching people to plant at home. Yeah, you create your own farm at home. He is very, very passionate about that. But when he started his business, he was paralyzed. He was at decision and he was paralyzed. Okay, he wanted to make sure he had the perfect step. Paralyzed, although he was motivated, but he couldn't move forward. So where we came in was to help him to move forward and to create a very, very powerful plan, and then help him to gain external and internal resources to drive his change. Not just him, but his wife joined him and the rest of his team that he built thereafter. Also, and this is very powerful, you'll hear him say this, I want you to hear from him yourself. He increased his revenue streams in year 2020. Again, a reminder, that is the beginning of the pandemic. But you know what he said to me? We don't waste, coach. We don't waste a good pandemic. And I went, wow. So ladies and gentlemen, hear what he shares. He has gone through the MDCI himself.
Before we engaged with Coach Maresa, it was mostly Vernon and myself. So in the company, we were running around doing everything, working in the business, which we didn't know better until we met Coach. So the difference between working in the business and on the business, we realized that after, and realized that we were drowning in our business.
We weren't sure where we were going after having formed the company and running for over a year. Our direction wasn't clear. Yeah. Aside from that, we were new, and the market was it was a sunrise industry, and things were beginning to take shape. Not in the early stages, but much later. And as it started to take shape, we realized we weren't ready. And I was desperate for a coach. I was desperate for guidance. I was desperate to learn.
today, I'm proud to say that we have a team of 7 members contributing to CM Eco. Can definitely say that we are in a very, very different position from where we started. Then we have better structure and a direction of where we're headed and how are we going to get there to our end goal. We now have a proper sense, and I think that also increases confidence from the team members putting their trust in us, knowing that we know how to develop the company further.
We found our purpose, we found our direction, we found our passion on what we're building, and that's what really helped to begin with. Aside from that, I mean, me and Jin as well, we're working great together now. A lot of ground rules put into place, and keeping each other accountable for everything that we're setting out to do. So I fell in love with the concept of great business, great life. Up until meeting Maresa, I've never heard of it. In fact, the impression always has been great business and just business. But from here, I realized that actually there's more to it, and I really believe it. We started building up more revenue streams for ourselves, and really listing out where these sources are coming from. And from there, we've actually grown the business a lot more since then. And then the second thing we worked on as well was really pivoting and maneuvering the business through an economic nightmare. From that, we actually built a whole new revenue stream for the business based on our current skill set and talent pool. The last point I'll add on to that is actually also building a lot of our online visibility and presence. We didn't have much before this, but we all know it's such an important aspect of the business today, especially now, and we're making the most of it. One of the biggest that comes to mind really is an increase of 150% in our sales generated compared to 2019, and we're hitting newer heights every day now. Building on that as well was the increase in our tribe members, learning how to leverage on the different people and talents we have in the team, and really getting more productive, getting more work done, getting more results in together as a family.
So learning the art of delegation has been a lifesaver. Then before this, to me, I felt like I didn't feel too comfortable delegating my work to other people because of two things. Number one, either I might not get the results that I'm looking for, or it might seem like I'm just pushing my responsibilities onto others. But I think through the sessions, discussions with Coach, we realized that the art of delegation is so beautiful that you get people to help you, and together we can achieve bigger and greater things.
So at home, things started to stabilize. I think first and foremost, me and Jin are working fantastic, and I'm sleeping better as well because there's a lot of clarity around what we do, why we do it.
Definitely, number one is to be open-minded. Be open-minded to learn and to listen, because that's the whole reason you are engaging with a business coach. I must say that Coach Maresa is so far the most empathetic and the most giving person that we have met, because she doesn't stinge on sharing whatever knowledge and information she has to help us develop ourselves.
I have no regrets working with a coach. In fact, I think it's one of the best decisions I've ever made since stepping into the business scape. It is a very, very big change from being an employee to a business owner. And if anyone tells you it's easy, it's not. They're lying. and with that, I really believe in trusting your coach. Confiding in them, being able to share with them explicitly on what you want to work on and build is really what it's all about. So, great business, great life. I believe in it. It's real, and most of all, it's worth it.
We can never thank you enough for how much all the things that you've done for us throughout the past year, and we are really grateful that you came in at the right time to take us out from the longkang that we were in. We were at a really desperate point of our business as well, and we were needing to get it together then you know your energy is already one of the greatest resources for us to keep going. And most of all, thank you for this relationship that now we can call a friendship, because we get along really well. So thank you so much.
I want to let you know that we're really grateful for everything. Since I met you in 2018 till now, and in all honesty, to be honest, I don't think CM Co would be here today. We would have likely gone back to our corporate careers, and probably not having known what it was like to build a company to this level or where it's at now. And with all the guidance we've received today, we're really sure and confident that we're going to be able to take both the business and the team to the next level and beyond.
Great business, great life.
Thank you. Great business, great life. It is the only way, really, that we can share the journey of change, is to let our entrepreneurs share them with you themselves. Yeah, and so that's a story that thank you, Economic Nightmare, to a powerful impact in the business. And so, if I can just further this, ladies and gentlemen, we invite you as well to create this change. As you can see, and I've shared this in numerous of our series, ladies and gentlemen, this is the last of the Resilient Leadership series that we're doing with SHRDC. I hope that all the series that we've done and leading up to today has been very useful for those of you who I've seen right from the first, second, until now. You've seen how we impact change. So this is one of the things that we truly believe in, is that leadership never just changes at the action level, but it's got to go into behaviors, and I'll talk a bit about behaviors, into the skills that you have to lead and to coach and to guide your team and to guide yourself, as well as your own belief system. Those of you who are aware, we actually talked about the Leader Coach Development Program, which actually encompasses the Coach Foundation Program at the top, to the Coaching Skills Mastery, to the Leadership Matrix. All this comes in together as LCDP, the Leader Coach Development Program. Again, all 8 days, 2 days, 3 days, and 3 days. All this is actually claimable from HRD Corporation. So if your company is contributing to HRDF, by all means, this is all doable. We have had senior managers, emerging leaders, heads of department, newly promoted people managers that come into this program, and many business owners as well, because it's all about leading the team, understanding people. And so if you're interested with this, please reach out to Munis and Maresa at SHRDC. They're very, very happy to help you to go through that. Again, these are some of the companies that we've worked with. I won't go into too much of these because we are running out of time, everybody. But the last bit that I wanted to share with you, many people have been reaching out to us about doing, about understanding themselves. Like, I'm going through this very rocky phase. I don't know who to be. I don't know what are my behavior program. I don't know what my blind spots are. And so if we can introduce to you just a one day for you to discover your leadership and behavior intelligence. Those of you who have been reaching out to us as well, and some of you are on this webinar, know that at only 700 ringgit, if you are again part of a company that provides for HRDF, they contribute to HRDF, at only 700 ringgit, we enable you for a whole day to hold your own exclusive behavior intelligence mental map. That's very valuable, because you will be able to see your blind spots, you'll be able to see your strengths, you'll be able to see where you struggle, and you will go through all these 4 sessions, including a behavior coaching clinic and laboratory, where you will be able to do the basic behavioral coaching inside this session, all at only 700 ringgit. So if you're interested for this, one day is in 27th of August, where we are inviting many people across different fields to come in to learn about themselves, so that they become more effective with others. All right. So this is something interesting for you. This is the map, guys. This is only one page, but we go through all the following. These are all meta programs. Those of you who are familiar with neurosemantics, these are all the meta programs. How you execute. Do you execute fast? Do you execute slow? Are you a global thinker or are you a detailed thinker? All this is for you, 26 pages. So it's not a simple test, but when you do it, it will give you tons of information about yourself. All right. So last but not least, as I get into some Q&A, and we've got a poll for you to do as well. Stay tuned because we want to hear from you what your challenges are around change. And I'm going to share with each of you what you have shared, but leaving us with a final quote. As we end off today and the last of the series, I share this with a lot of leaders wherever I go. Before you're a leader, success is about growing yourself. But when you become a leader, success is about growing others. And so it is our responsibility to grow ourselves, to work on self. And even till today, I'm still working on myself every single day, every single week, every single year. I'm doing that. And I invite you to that level of clarity about knowing yourself so that you can support and lead others. Thank you very much, everybody. I just want to say thank you, SHRDC, for having me. I think, Maresa, can I hand it to you for us to do some quick polls? Okay, as we wait for Maresa to come on. Gang, did you have fun today? Did you enjoy the learning? Say yeah. If you had, let me know. Did you take away lots of learning? Rosemaria, oh my gosh, yes. Tell me, while we're doing this quick poll, guys, tell me what's the key thing that you've learned, all right? Oh, Jolene, Shafiq, Nisa. Very, very awesome. Thank you. I'm just so thankful for us to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, leaders and in the room, fill up this poll that you see here now. 3 simple questions that will help us to understand where you are at. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Yi Huang Pyong. Great sharing, great life. Oh, I love it. Great business, great life. Please share this session and hashtag great business, great life. Okay. Thank you so much, Shafiq. Powerful quote. Okay. All right. Do answer the polls, everybody. And we're going to get into some Q&A. So those of you who are finished with the poll, tolong tanya soalan. This session here is for you, not for me, not for SHRDC, but it's for you. So we want to help you with as many of your questions as possible. Clear insight, Muniz. Wow, thank you. Thank you.
Yep, while you guys have answered the poll questions, do ask a way to coach, because this is in case you don't know, this is actually our last installment of the Resilient Leadership series with Coach Maresa. All right, so we have come down to our 3rd and final webinar session. So who knows when is the next turn going to be? So do not miss this opportunity to ask away. So do type your questions into the chat box and Coach will address them immediately. All right. Thank you.
Which Maresa, Muniz?
I feel like the spelling, is it for Miss Maresa or Coach Maresa?
Oops.
Maresa, so.
Thank you, Sandra. You're awesome. Thank you. Thank you. I'm very humbled. Thank you, Muniz. Thank you, Rosemaria. Awesome. Awesome. You are awesome. I like it. You're using my word. Awesome is my favorite word. Okay. And Juliet, great learning. Thank you. Thank you.
So,
all right.
Coach, do you have any like slides left? Are you going to show? Because I will like
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna share. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get in touch with me, you can also personally just add me on LinkedIn, Maresa Ng. I would love to be connected and be friends with you. So do by all means connect. Let us continue to stay in touch. All right. But this is it, gang. I'm just gonna stop sharing now. And there you go. Thank you, Nordin. Thank you, Jaya. Very nice. Okay, over to you, Maresa.
So I will just also share my screen for those for everyone here to see. All right, so this is 4 questions already answered. So from my side here, or from SHRDC side here, I would just like to show everyone here that we are currently having an ongoing program, a long-term program, which is a fully funded training programs. So for those who are still here, these 8 lists are all of the programs that we are currently offering. All right, it's fully funded training program. So you just do get in touch with us on how you can get on board, because salary and allowance are provided, and this is a very good opportunity in case you have a niece, nephew, students, or any family members who like keen to join. Do get in touch with me. I will just type in my email address in the chat box so you guys can directly ask me. All right, so thank you very much all right for attending this session. We hope to see everyone again soon. We don't know when, but if there's any opportunity that we'll be hosting this again, we'll be organizing this again, we will definitely let you guys know.
Thank you. Thank you. Maresa, can we go through the polls and just help everybody see what they all shared?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's very quickly do this, gang. Your challenges, okay? What are your challenges in enabling sustainable change and growth in your team? All right, 1 question. The highest was at 43%, unable to get through to different types of people and lacking the skill and the ability for change needed. 43% and 43%, guys, write that down. 35%, too slow to change and adapt. Okay, so now you have the speed to do it. So bear in mind all the things that you've learned. 26%, I lack motivation. Remember, motivation is the first part. You're having the energy. Okay, so these are your polls, gang. Thank you very much. And for those of you who are who want more of this series, you want the Resilient Leadership series to continue. How many of you want more of these sessions? Can we let SHRDC know, please? If you guys want to have more of this, gang, say yeah, more, type more, M-O-R-E, more. Then we can bring more of these sessions. Now, these polls are also important because we are designing clear picture of what our SHRDC members need. Jolene, more. Karen, more. And Juliet, more. Oh my gosh, Eric, more. Rosemaria, more. Thank you. Mahatzir, thank you. Nisa, Jaya, oh, very good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your feedback. Because we need to, Nor Aziz, thank you. So, SHRDC, thank you very much for having us, the Spark Group Asia, work very closely with you. I think I want to say thank you to yourself, Maresa, to Muniz, yeah, and you guys have been just so hospitable, and also a quick word out to Tay Sukling. Sukling was the first person that I spoke to, and then we brought this wonderful series to all of you. So I hope that we can further do more great stuff. But I just wanted to say thank you to SHRDC. More! Right here.
Thank you so much. I think all the attendees and our SHRDC as well, like we have been like very honored, and it's a pleasure. It's a great pleasure having you, because your energy, the energy that you have given, is unmatched. All right, so I think that's why we have returning registrants, attendees keep coming back to these sessions, because you yourself has been a very great speaker and motivating.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
All right. So is there any last words that you want to cover up, Maresa, before we end the session?
That's something that I wanted to share, guys. The Resilience Leadership series is very important because, you know, we talk about leadership. A lot of people think that, you know, I'm not a leader, I don't manage people, so leadership doesn't apply to me. Actually, my last advice for you is this: leadership will begin with us and our own ship. There is no leadership and helping others and supporting and leading others if we don't lead our own ship first. And so that's why we invest so much time in helping, membantu orang untuk to discover themselves, to see their blind spot. And sometimes it's unconscious. Most of the time it's unconscious. And so, and then we want to impact change, we want to create, we want to push, we want to drive, but we need to know ourselves in the equation. If not, we hurt ourselves or we hurt others. Does that make sense? So if I can, my one advice is leadership is for everyone. The minute we have responsibilities, whether as a mother, a father, a brother, or a sister, or even running your own company and making an income, whether you have 2 people or 200 people in your team, leadership already exists. So take that step. Everyone is a leader. Everyone is a leader. If you say, I got nobody to manage, so therefore I'm not leader, I don't need leadership, then sometimes that's the mindset and we might stay that way forever. So bear in mind, the responsibility is already there. Sama ada kita nak accept. So that's why the Resilience Leadership Series is again calling upon all of you to be resilient, because that's who we need in this climate. Is who we need, people that will spread positivity and to urge and to support and to connect and to empathize with every human being. Dia bukan mudah sekarang, tapi kita kena support one another. When we support one another, kita kena support diri sendiri dulu, baru kita boleh support yang lain. I've got to take care of myself before I can even talk here. Does that make sense? And every day I have my challenges. Maresa too, Muniz as well. So bear in mind that all this comes from a good place for us to support one another in the community. Okay, so that's my last words. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Maresa. Thank you, SHRDC. Thank you, Muniz. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Coach, once again. So, and everyone, to all registrants, to all attendees here, thank you very much for dialing in, and thank you very much for engaging and interacting well. Even we can't see you, but we can see your responses have been very good, and we hope this session have brought joy. Like it's been a very fruitful session to you guys, and you have found something new, some new insight, new hope, new motivation of sorts. Okay, so do stay safe, all right, because the cases are not going down any soon. All right, do stay at home and stay safe. So do get in touch as well. All right, I think Coach have already included her social, her LinkedIn, so I'm sure if anything she will get back to you guys on. You guys need any help. All right, thank you very much, everyone. So you guys can start signing off. It's past 11:45 now. So thank you very much for staying in once again from SHRDC and SPUG.
So how was it, everyone? Did you enjoy and learn something new today? We hope you find the webinar beneficial and informative. Thank you for sitting through until the end of the webinar session with us. If you like what you have experienced today and want to join in for more sessions, do not forget to like and follow our social media channels. Simply search SHRDC on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter, as all of our programs are regularly updated there. We will include the links to these pages in the description box below. Feel free to connect with us today or visit our website at www.shdc.org.my. Thank you, and we hope to see you again.